Discussion, which I think that
If you count the people at home watching.
oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Listen, let me fit it down.
Yes. We got a few uses, right?
Religious school says yes, full-time teacher.
Right.
Part-time.
We had 117 people watch the Rosh Hashanah service, and 122 who watched the Erev Rosh Hashanah service. That was probably all the choir that let me go in and hear this.
Now, how long does it remain on YouTube?
Forever.
Forever?
I don't think you can get rid of it.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
Delete it? I thought you just made them not public.
And an office administrator.
No, that's a very, I'll stick that in, that's a very good.
For all of you.
Or even if you're just
Yeah, some things never go
Okay, what do you want?
your internet is true.
That's why it's so important
to have a
So
Yeah. For the streaming.
one time for you people who do this every year. If you
Further up this way.
Did you say 3 months?
And if you hadn't done it that way, don't we expand and then we contract a little for Shabbat Shuvah, and it's so nice. It's just nice to be back in a bit of a regular mode, but not exactly regular. So it is Shabbat Shuvah tonight and tomorrow. So we have this mixture of the peacefulness and the kind of returning to the centeredness, of Shabbat, but we have that layer of the high holiday season in the sense that this is our time to turn back onto the path of who we want to be this year, to turn back towards the people in our lives who mean a lot to us, and to repair the relationships we need to repair. So that's the road we're on right now on this Shabbat. And so we have that mixture in our liturgy tonight and in the melodies that we'll be singing. We have some Shabbat melodies, but then you'll also hear high holiday musach, high holiday melodies in our tefillah and I think in our Micha Mocha. Some of those melodies stay in, And this is the one time a year when there are certain additional phrases added to some of the blessings in the tefillah when we get there, where it says, on Shabbat Shuvah, read this, so this is the night. So it's good that you're here so you get to do that. And the other element tonight that's really special is that we have Jenna Randall delivering our Devar Torah, giving us our Torah teaching tonight. And so I'm really grateful for that, to give me a little bit of a respite, but also for us to hear a new voice from the Imam. So let's just take a few moments and wish each other Shabbat Shalom and Happy New Year, and maybe meet someone new. If you haven't yet.
Shabbat Shalom.
How you doing?
Shana Tova.
You want to be on
And we're going to welcome in Shabbat with our candle lighting. So it's my pleasure to invite up Elliot and Nancy Schwam, who are sponsoring the Oneg tonight. And the blessing for our candles is on page 120. And if you are new to this prayer book, we're looking at the page numbers in blue in the brackets. Page 120. Let's take a moment to really arrive in the quiet of Shabbat, let go of whatever is undone from the week, whatever is waiting for us to do, and just be here. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You can focus on your breath. Let your shoulders drop a little bit. Exhale the busyness of the week. Breathe in some peace.
Return
138. We bring in Shabbat bride.
He
on page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadecha. Akein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shokmeinu u'kumeinu, nasiach lechurecha, v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu le'orech yameinu, u'ba'em yamam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir livenu, al tasir livenu le'olam.
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
Page 154.
ושיננתם לבניך בדיבר סלם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשרפתך ובקומך, ובשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ובטרתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני
with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Please read responsibly with me, page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
Thy heavens declare your glory, the earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi kamot ha'elim Adonai, mi kamot ha'nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot o sefer. Maputecha lahu banecha, rokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeviyanu v'yamiru, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki v'ada Adonai et Yaakov, u'gelo mi'at v'zach mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Elohim Yisrael.
Together, our prayer for shelter, page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. תהיו בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני And we will chant the first 3 blessings as we usually do out loud, and then you can continue silently on your own through page 180. The difference is that we have the additions in several of the prayers for Shabbat Shuvah. So whether you're looking at the Hebrew or the English, you'll see those additions. Please rise.
So
Baruch atah Adonai, Merayeh ha'arot. Atah kadosh v'shema kadosh, u'kadoshim kol yom yavlu b'seba. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech hakadosh. Shalom Bimlama, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'avo Yisrael, Ve'avo Yoshnei Tevel, Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh 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 Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Amen.
It took getting the new Machzor for us to realize that that phrase is actually here in this prayer book. Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel. It was in the Oseh Shalom in this prayer book too. But it's not in the Kaddish in this prayer book.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Oh. I think we're going to have to just start adding it in both together. So we're going to take a moment now for a prayer for healing. And I don't know if everyone got one of these half sheets on their way in. They've sort of been dwindling away. But we have the words for our new healing prayer on those sheets. And we are thinking about Wendy Bass-Robb, Rose Madnick, Beth Gottlieb, Anita Makatonua, Miriam Swidler, Iris Clark, Joanne Price, Saul Meller, Kenneth Schneider, David Clark, Stuart Walker, Sam Rosenblum, Charles Sabat, Terry Baran, Carol Berzin, Nancy Schwam, John DiNicola, Peggy Tunick, Harvey Redak, and Reagan Konecki. And if there are other folks that you're thinking about for healing, you can say their names at this time.
Wanda Condick.
Jerry Consiglione.
Adonai is love, is love Lahem, Eloah Shlema. Adonai is love, is love Lahem, Eloah Shlema. Levuat HaNefesh, Levuat HaGuf, Ve'nomar Amen. Levuat HaNefesh, Levuat HaGuf,
We say a prayer also for good things that we're thankful for, big and small. So just take a moment and bring at least one good thing to mind, and then if you'd like to share it, you may. Would anyone like to share a good thing?
The beautiful weather this week.
Beautiful weather. Mazel tov.
I had my beautiful maple tree trimmed today in hopes of saving its life. And it's singing. It's so happy.
She won't say it herself, but Bianca just got a journal article published. It's going to come out in a while. It's not out yet, but it's a big, only 5% of the articles get published, so it's very exciting.
Is this something we would understand if we read it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes out, I'd like to see that. Mazel tov, that's awesome. All right. Well, I got to co-officiate at a bris on Wednesday morning for the new baby boy of Emily and Jeff Marion. His name is Asher Rosen, named after a woman named after a great grandmother, I think, named Rose. A sweet little thing. Oh, it was just a beautiful thing to be able to hold a new baby on the day after Rosh Hashanah. Yes. And everyone's doing really well. So, okay. So for all these good things, we say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hatov v'hameitiv. Praised are you, Adonai our God. Your presence fills creation. You are good, and you make good things happen. So some announcements. Kivun, which is our new name for our religious school, begins on Sunday morning, 9:30. Woo! Yeah, really wonderful. I'm excited to have all the kids back in this building. And also we have our annual cemetery services. Kever Avot is a tradition. It's a tradition to go to the graves of your ancestors. Or if you can't get to the actual graves of your actual ancestors, come to a local cemetery to say memorial prayers in between the two holidays. So that's happening on Sunday afternoon. The first one is at 1 o'clock in Deep River at Fountain Hill in the Jewish section. And then right after that at 2:30 at the Rod Faith Tzedek Cemetery in Ludus. And then Kol Nidre services are on Tuesday, September 22nd at 7:30. Wednesday morning at 9:30, we have Yom Kippur morning services, children's services at 2:30 in the afternoon, afternoon services with Yizkor and the Ela at 4 o'clock, and we finish with our congregational break of the fast, which is a potluck dairy extravaganza, so you can bring something. And then next Friday night is just a regular Shabbat service before we head into Sukkot. The way the calendar worked this year, we're getting actually some nice breaks in between with Shabbat here and there, so I'm actually very grateful for that. We are in need of Oneg sponsors for the year, I'm sure, but definitely for the next few weeks. So if anyone is able to step up and do that, please call the office or call Sharon Goldberg, who coordinates that. If you haven't sent in your RSVP for the gala, do that too. You may have seen on the Facebook page, there's going to be a really fun play, 100 Years in 36 Minutes, that Larry Bloom and Shelley Sprague and David Hayes are all collaborating on. So that's a real draw, I think. And thank you, Nancy and Elliot, for sponsoring the Oneg tonight, especially this Shabbat during this very, very busy time of year. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And now I'm going to invite up Jenna to share some words of Torah.
Sounds like we're going to have to compete for cricket.
I know, that time of year.
So, Vayelech, whose shorthand English title is Moses Went. That's an ironic title for a parsha all about where Moses will not be going, namely the Promised Land. Seriously, am I the only one who thinks Moses totally gets the shaft? I mean, he leads the Israelites out of slavery, puts up with all their kvetching, all the stiff-necked, idol-worshipping trouble they get themselves into for decades, and then finally, when they're in sight of their destination, God's all, by the way, you don't get to go. And Moses is very clear in his quotation, which I cannot help but read in an annoyed, dismayed tone. The Eternal has said to me, you shall not go across yonder Jordan. Everyone else gets to go, but me? Nope. That's okay, though. I'll be just fine. Don't worry about me. And, you know, the more I think about it, the more I realize Moses' life is all about negotiating the fate that was dealt to him. He had no control over the fact that he was sent down a river as a baby to save his life and scooped up out of the waters by none other than Pharaoh's daughter. When told he should be the one to lead the Hebrew slaves out of bondage, his response was that he was not good enough to do it. He was too slow of tongue, but still, he did it. And now, in this parsha, he is at the end of life, learning it is indeed the end of his journey, and he simply must make do with what he's been given. You know, Moses and I, we're in a very exclusive club together. I like to call us the Who Knew Jews. People who discover later on in life that they are of Jewish ancestry. Granted, I didn't wind up in an Egyptian palace, and nobody is commanding me to lead the Israelites anywhere, and that's a good thing because that probably leads us right off the nearest cliff. But I do understand a little bit about learning how to play the hand you are dealt and coping with the circumstances of your life that were put in place by some other entity. As some of you already know, the last time I stood up here talking to you, it was during my conversion ceremony. Many people like to refer to converts as Jews by choice, but I can't take on that moniker because I don't know how much of a choice this was for me. Once I uncovered my Jewish roots, I felt absolutely compelled by some nameless, nebulous force to go back home. And I didn't care how much work it took. I had to make it so that I could at least feel like I could legitimately say out loud that I am a Jew. And in the end, it took a lot more psychological excavation than even I realized because I traced my Jewish ancestry through my father's side of the family. And my father also happens to be someone who did terrifying, traumatizing things to me for the first 18 years of my life. Things I will never be able to understand. Things I will never be able to live beyond. Things that I tried so long to just hide from. Don't think about that. Don't think about him. But I couldn't not think about him during my conversion process because I would never have embarked on that journey had it not been for the hidden Jewish heritage he gave me. In a way, I had to leave myself out of the bondage he put me in. I had to learn the difference between being a victim and being a survivor. I will never be able to go back in time and undo what he did to me or unconnect him from my history. But I can sort through the wreckage, find what's still salvageable, and take that with me to someplace new and hopefully better. And that's what I did when I converted. The fact of the matter is, we don't always have complete agency in our lives. We can't always control what happens to us, but we do have some say over how we react to what happens. As we journey into the new year, which we always hope to be some temporal promised land where nothing but good things will befall us, we can take stock of the year we just lived, and we can try to prepare ourselves to do better and be better, and that's all we can do. When Moses learned he would not be going into the promised land himself, he set upon the task God commanded of him, preparing his people to go on without him. And God did not have high hopes for the Israelites. Once again, I hear the voice of an exasperated parent when God reads out the laundry list of sins that people are bound to get themselves into despite everything that's been done for them. But there is still hope in preparation. There is still hope in teaching them better. Even amongst pitfalls and mistakes and fates we can't control, there are small choices we can make that will help us navigate the choices that are made for us. That's one of the aspects of Judaism that truly speaks to me as a mere flawed, mortal human being. There is this acknowledgement that there is good and bad in the world and inside of us, and both sides of that dichotomy are there for a reason. It is up to us to learn how to balance them. We are not expected to be perfect, but we are expected to try to simply be better. And we are not to be abandoned or condemned just because we mess up. In the end, that's what I hear at the end of this parsha and at the beginning of this year, and I really don't think I have to complicate it any further. In a few days, when we stand, fists over our hearts, chanting the litany of all our mistakes in melodies that pull at the very core of whatever it is that keeps me together, what we're saying is, I did wrong, and I knew it was wrong. And sometimes I had control, and sometimes I didn't. And I still have to learn how not to compound the sins other people commit against me with my own sinful reactions. And that's a cycle that will continue to spin long after we are all gone from this world. It is the source from which all literature and art and philosophy and religion spring. This hope that we can figure out how to be better and more gracefully cope with what the universe throws at us. I don't know if we'll ever have the answer. I don't know if we even have the capacity to understand. And I am oddly at peace with that. As long as we just keep trying to learn from it all, I think we'll be okay.
Yes, you can.
Dana, thank you. Please rise for Aleinu, page 586.
Aleinu v'shabdei l'adon hakol, l'atei t'ilad yaseh reshit, shelo asanu k'grei ha'arasot, ve'lo zamanu v'kenish v'chot ha'adama, shelo samcha keinu kahem, ve'gon aleinu
You may be seated. Overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. We think of our loved ones now, those whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. This week, we mark the yard sites of Louis Alcon, Kate Barron, Herbert Breslau, Theodora Chaimovitz, Phyllis Diamond, Henry Drobiars, Beatrice Fishback, Mortimer Hayes, Benjamin Lake, Rose Lewant, Doris Levin, Esther Miller, Leah Katz-Pear, Jean Holstein, Tilly Holstein, Ada Sager, Max Schulman, Philip Sprague, Morris Sprecher, Robert A. Tobis, Marie Waldinger, Melville S. Wine, Edith Weissman, and Jenny Young. And we also remember those who were laid to rest during this past month. We remember Hortense Ross, sister of Herb Ross, Rabbi Harold White, uncle of Marilyn White Gottfried, Harriet Feldmar, grandmother to Tracy Kleinberg, and I'm remembering my teacher, my mentor, who led my Year in Israel program on kibbutz, just died this week, Amichai Yarchi. And if there are other folks that you're remembering for yard site, or you're just especially feeling close to their memory at this time, you can say those names before Kaddish. Names for Kaddish.
Charles Klassenberg.
I'm Shalad.
Mourners and those who wish to join them, please rise for Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma tivrach v'yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah v'vorach le'olam l'olei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei v'chudsha v'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'roma hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. May we bring comfort to those who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. We'll all stand as we close. All the world is a narrow bridge. The important thing is not to be afraid. Page 643, you need the words. Kol haolam kulo yesher tsar meod, yesher tsar meod, yesher tsar meod. And may you have a meaningful fast.
you know, I thought how you feeling? Good.